Welcome back to live pictures here from the Tour of Flanders. 53 kilometers to go here, 52 seconds to the 15 men in the breakaway. It's slightly down now, 13. The two NetApp men who were there previously have gone. We've got over the first of the Haute-Quarmont and the Paterberg and then the Koppenberg, but it was this that is now going to define the race. Shots of Fabian Cancellara crashing in the feed zone, falling very quickly and very heavily. Here we go, and going down, possibly on one of those bottles that was discarded. Cancellara straight down in the middle of the road. Immediately the rest of the team, or members of the team, off the bikes, but that is the end of Fabian Cancellara's race. He just did not get up. They put him back down on the ground. He's now been taken to hospital with what they have confirmed on race radio as a broken collarbone, but it must be a bad one because he just simply didn't move, and they lay him back down on the ground, so much so that it looked as though it could have been a pelvic injury. But Fabian Cancellara out of the Tour of Flanders, exactly where he's had problems in Harelbeke last week, in the feed zone, the most dangerous places in a race. It's not necessarily the descents or the climbs or anything similar, it's the feed zones, and this has completely changed the face of this Tour of Flanders. The two big favourites were Fabian Cancellara and Tom Boonen. Boonen now, in the most dramatic and unwanted way really, has now got a free hand. His main rival is out of the race. He has Sylvain Chavanel and Nicky Terpstra available to him if he wants to use them, which he most definitely will as they come back into the Haute-Quarmont and the Paterberg again. It's completely changed the nature of this race, and other teams will know it as well. It's not going to just be a walkover for Tom Boonen. There are other teams who want to get something out of this, but it's totally changed the dynamic now. Francis de Jeux going on the attack. And Sky have been very, very attentive of things. Steegmans moves over to the right-hand side of the road, doing the policing job now for Omega Pharma Quick-Step. In the commentary box with me is Brian Smith, knows these roads intimately, have raced here time and time again. We must point out, of course, that if you're fairly new to cycling, these roads aren't just used for the Tour of Flanders, but they're used for so many different races here. Christian Knees of Sky, they're willing to push on now with 51 kilometers to go. It's the crucial part of this race. Up to this point, up to the point where Cancellara crashed about 10 minutes ago, nothing much going on. And the 50 kilometers for the peloton with Van den Berg and Knees, the two very tall men sitting on your screens. Brian, you know these climbs very well indeed. It's all beginning to kick off here now. Nothing much happened on the first ascent of the Haute-Quarmont. Nothing much happened on the Paterberg either. And now we have a race with 50 kilometers to go that is almost a race within a race.
We'll just look.
They're on the Kreuzberg. This is what remains of the breakaway. We'll give you those names in a second, but sorry Brian, just to interrupt you there while we saw these guys here. The race within a race now.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of riders in contention. It's not been a very aggressive race. Omega Pharma haven't really done too much yet, so they've still got most of their riders still in this race. For me, the team that have been trying to do something is this team here, Astana, Basayev. They've ridden quite a lot at the front, kept their main leader, Iglinski, out of trouble, although he had trouble himself in one of the previous climbs. But he's back in this bunch. But you can just look at the bunch now. We've done over 200 kilometres, or 206 to be precise. We're down to 10 riders in front, and they've got just under a minute. They're not worried about these riders in front, but you can just see the size of the bunch. Quite a lot of riders just sitting there waiting. But now is the next climb is going to be the as we say, the Kreuzberg. It's 2.5 kilometres long, 5% average, 9% maximum.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to all kick off.
And that's the end of the break. Look, there is the break, right in front of you. They've been out for a long time. Gert Dox is the man at the head of it. Anders Lund is second in line there for Saxo Bank. And the peloton have Hasan Basayev in the middle of them, and the remaining breakaway riders. 52 seconds only is the gap. They're under 50 kilometres to the finish. The whole nature of this race totally changed now, Brian, with Cancellara. Problems for Tom Bonen here, and Tom Bonen requiring some mechanical assistance. He's got something caught in the rear derailleur, something like that. You'll be pleased it happens there anyway. But it's completely changed the nature of this race.
Yeah, it's very unfortunately for Cancellara. It looked as if he trying to take a feedback. One of his teammates took the feedback off the bike when it was lying on the deck, and it looks as if it's maybe went into his wheel and put him, somersaulted him over the bars. And when that happens, you know, it's a collarbone that is quite obvious. But it has changed the race now. Boonen was one of the favourites. Now he is the out-and-out favourite at the moment. He's still, his team Omega Pharma haven't done really too much. There was a 6-man breakaway, went away about 50 kilometres ago, and they shut that down. So they're in a very good situation at the moment. The guys in front, 10 riders in front, with very little advantage, but it's going to start now. 50 inside 50 k's now. It's going to start. We're going to see the real racing as Philip Gilbert just sparks it off.
Gilbert, the first of the big names to start pushing up the road. This is going to start being interesting now. I think they're sacrificing Gilbert for the chances of another rider. Maybe Hincapie feels good. He's the grand old man of the peloton here. Really, well, he's not actually. Frédéric Guidon is that. But he's been going fairly well today so far, although it's been reasonably pedestrian. Good to see Philippe Gilbert, though, actually taking some positive action up towards the front. He's had a particularly difficult season so far. Jaroslav Popovic up here. 1-2 men from Vacansoleil straight away. And Thomas Vogler. Vogler wanted to try and get a little breakaway going about 15 minutes ago, just before Fabian Cancellara crashed, but nobody wanted to come with him. A little bit too early. And Vogler prepared to ride hard on the front here.
Yeah, you've got this small group, about 10 riders, and a Sky rider trying to join them at the moment, and looking like a good counter-attack. 3 other riders trying to come across. It was a bit grippy up there, but again, no real teams taking control of this race at the moment, and it's all up in the air. Unfortunately for Cancellara, it's not going to happen. Looks as if Popovic is in that group in front, but it's just about to all kick off now. As soon as you see Philippe Gilbert go on the attack, they're looking at the other riders they've got. They have used up Hushoff, but they've got Van Avermaet and Balan.
Well, they're trying to tee it up once again for the old Quamont. And they're definitely trying to keep the pace as high as possible, as Gustav Eric Larsson is on the front, pushing along. Winner of the time trial in the first stage of Paris-Nice is clearly in good shape. Vogler's got the race face on, hasn't he? I'm not sure how long he'll last. He hasn't had the best of, again, another man hasn't had the best of season starts, but he's certainly a rider who's not afraid of being aggressive and going for it.
Oh, it's Oscar Gatto at the back there for Nisi Vini, another man that's on form at the moment. But Lukemans was also in there for Vacances Soleil, so that's why Gustav Larsson was riding hard at the front, trying to push it along, because this is a good move at the moment. Vogler just kind of sitting at the back at the moment, and you know, this group of 10 just about to be caught at this the top of this small rise with 48 kilometres to go.
Yeah, 48 to go. Gatto at the back here, 2:16. He's due a win. Wouldn't be surprised if he stirs things up a little bit here. Lurkemans, we were talking about him a little bit earlier. Lurkemans for me would have been a good outside bet. It would have been, oh dear, oh dear. Is that Tommy? Looks like it. With Cyril Gauthier giving off a wheel. Lurkemans is a good outside bet. He was 66 to 1. Chavanel is now following. It's all the impetus has gone out of the front here, and there's a few interested faces looking around going, well, what do we do here now? As some of the other big riders start to come up here. Larsson still wants to push it on. Lurkemans at 66 to 1, I thought was a good outside bet, but Vacances Soleil have seen their chance now, Brian. They've got Bonin still to fight with, but other than that, Cancellara is out of the picture.
Yeah, that's why it's become a lot more aggressive. I know you don't like seeing it when Cancellara crashes out for Radio Shack, and you know, it gets round the peloton, and the director sportifs are, you know, saying, look guys, it changes the dynamics of the race. There is only one team now with Tom Boonen that has to do something, and within the last 50 kilometres we have to get in the attacks and make the attacks, and this is what's happening at the moment. And